What's up everybody, I hope you're doing well. I'm here in Mauritius and behind me is the brand new Nexus 2. Probably you've seen it online already, but in case you didn't, here's the video we shot in Ireland. So that's the 1-minute video that Willow and I shot in Ireland with the CORE team. For the full video, check the description over there. And yeah, what we're here for today is a little review on the Nexus 2 versus Nexus 1. What has actually changed? But let me start with why I actually love this kite. Because when this kite released about 2 years ago, the Nexus 1 that is, I really fell in love with it for one main reason. I can take that kite out in every type of conditions, all type of conditions, and have a lot of fun. I can go wave riding, I can go foiling, twin tipping, big air, even a little bit of unhooked, even though it's not ideal. But this kite suits every riding style. So if I would go on a trip, I could just take one kite. Well, I would take multiple sizes of course, but take one type of kite, drop it in my bag, go on a plane, and it would save me some weight. I would still have to carry all my boards around, but that's a different story. So keeping it short, this kite is the perfect all-round kite. If you love doing everything like me, get this one. So looking at the CORE lineup, we actually have 6 kites right now. So that's a huge diversity to choose from. We got 3 Universal Plus kites, the kite that suits everybody's needs, and 3 specialized kites, which are specifically designed to do one thing very, very well. Stay. Stay. So when we start comparing the GTS to the Nexus will be a lot more playful, where the GTS is a lot more explosive. Your steering with the GTS needs to be more on point because it's not as forgiving as the Nexus. Comparing it to the XR, which is our easiest to ride kite with massive lift once you pull that bar down, the Nexus will be a little bit quicker, or actually quite a bit quicker, and more of a sporty feel to riding this kite. If you're mainly riding twin tip and only once every so often take out a surfboard, the XR might be better for you. So another kite that looks quite similar to the Nexus is the Section. The Section is our dedicated wave kite. But the main difference between those kites is that when you pull the bar down, the Nexus is going to generate more lift. And once you're riding down the line, the Section will generate more drift. So if you're a twin tip rider, the Section won't do you that much good, because as soon as you pull that bar down, there is not that much lift and performance in it. So for jumping, you're going to go up, but you're also going to go down really quick. So Nexus 1 versus Nexus 2. What actually changed? Right now we're going to look at the structural changes first, and then I'll tell you later how it actually feels different, jumps different, and turns different. So one of the main changes they did is changing the strut material from Exotex to Exotex Light. Exotex Light is about 10% lighter due to reforming of the thread and some new coatings. And it doesn't sound like much, but because they were able to save weight on those struts, they could change the weight difference or the weight balance in the kite. They managed to make the tips a lot wider. And with wider tips come a lot of benefits, well, which I'll take you through in a moment. On our light wind kites, we went for Exotex Light in both strut and leading edge, which actually saves about 200 grams on a 15 square meter kite and 300 grams on a 17. As you can imagine, that is going to help out a lot in those light wind conditions. Now everything's gonna fly. So as you can see behind me, we're having some difficulties with the wind. So that's enough tech talk. Let's go to what actually changed in the feeling of the kite. One of the first things you'll notice when you take this Nexus 2 kite in your hand is the responsive bar feeling you'll get. What do I mean with responsive bar feeling? The steering pressure builds up exponentially when you steer. So if you close your eyes and you start steering, you can imagine that this exponential pressure gives you the input or lets you know how hard you're actually steering. This especially comes in handy when you're not looking at the kite. Due to those wider wingtips, the way the kite turns actually changed. To me, it really felt like the kite twists more from the tip of the kite, where the Nexus 1 twists more from the middle. This is especially nice when you go out twin tipping because it gives a really direct feel in the loops and the power is very constant. It will be easier to feel where that kite is and steering mistakes will be made less easy. For wave riding, this is just fine because you'll just have to give slightly more bar input. So another big benefit from those wider wingtips is the reversed water lounge because you have more surface area to work with in the tips. And this is especially gonna come in handy on those lighter wind days. When I'm foiling, I do a lot of reverse lounges in light winds. And having that extra surface area and a slightly lighter kite is gonna make all the difference in those conditions. The wider tips and lighter material will also increase the drift of this kite. So all in all, it improved on all aspects. So one thing that comes standard on all of our kites, but I just want to explain it a little bit more, are the CIT modes. So there's actually 3 knots on this kite's leading edge. And with that, you can change the characteristics of the kite. The top knot will give you a wave setting. In this wave setting, the kite's gonna have more D-power, better drift, it opens up a little bit, and your steering pressure is going to be a little bit more constant. This is super nice for wave riding, and when I go out in the waves, I will change it. If I'm freestyling or looping, I change that knot all the way down. This is the same for the GTS. I ride it all the way down for one simple reason. The kite will pull more in a C shape, which gives you more of a constant power delivery, slightly less D-power, but we don't need that. We want that constant frame and a consistent power build-up in your loops. So especially if you go out for freestyle, big air, move it to the lower knot. It comes standard in the middle setting, and this is good for both wave and freestyle. And don't worry, you can change it very easily with our redesigned system. We redesigned the connection points so your lines can't get trapped behind the knots on the leading edge. This is, for instance, something you'll find very useful when doing a self-rescue or launching from the kite facing forward position after you pulled your safety. The line will never get caught behind the knots anymore and make for a very smooth relaunch. So there's also another adjustment point on this kite, and it's where the steering line connects to the kite. Again, we have 3 setups over here. If you go for the last one, this will give you the lightest bar pressure. And if we move it forward, it will give you more bar pressure. So if you're somebody that prefers a lot or not a lot of bar pressure, you can really start playing with this and fine-tune the kite to what you need. Alright, so there you have it. Nexus 1 versus Nexus 2. If you have any comments or questions, drop them down below or send me a message. I'm totally up for answering all of your questions. For now, I'll say thank you for watching. I hope you get your hands on one of these, and I'll see you soon.